Yeah, good morning. Welcome to today's quick update. Today is the 19th of September. Um, this is 1:45 a.m. West African time, so I need to give this update to align us. You remember in the weekly forecast that we thought that this is the sets of the last wave after the third and the fourth wave here, that we are seeing a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And that we thought this is a 1 and this is a 2 now of the very last wave. So we are focusing here to see what has happened. So when we see this move, a possible 3, a possible 4, and we thought we are going to continue to go up. Now, from here to this point, what we have done is we said this is a 1 and this is a 2, taking this as the beginning of a new move. And now what has happened? So we have seen a break of this to the downside. Now, when you see a break like this to the downside, does it mean that they have changed the trend or they are having a big pullback that is expected? Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. You have to quickly see what has happened, because on the bigger picture, we may have broken this to the downside, which now nullifies our count to mean that this is a 1 and a 2 to go up, a 3, a 4, a 5 to finish up and to thrust down. It has changed the count for us, so we're going to realign ourselves. This is DXY. So if you look at the US dollar index, this low has not been taken yet on the US dollar index. It still looks though as if this is a 1, and this is where we probably had our 2, or somewhere here, our 2, and it has broken lower. So it has not broken lower than this, and we are seeing this reaction. So the low has not been taken. It still kind of look like a 1 and a 2 here on the US dollar index to go up the more. But on the DXY, the count of it being a possible 1 and a 2 has been eroded because the low had been taken. So what it is now, we are going to see. And if you look at the euro dollar, you have to look at all the instruments. Also, from here, we thought we had a 3, a 4, and we said to this point is a 1, and this is a 2, and the high has been taken. So it nullifies a new count. So what that would do is to tell you first that it has nullified a new count to the downside, or other way around if you are selling, okay? But does it mean that we are going up? You don't take this as the price is ready to go up until structures are taken above. So, and that is what we're going to look at. Let's first look at the US dollar index and bring out our drawing. I want this to be fast. Let's bring our drawing on US dollar index. Now, bringing our drawing on US dollar index, for now, it means that the height has shifted a bit. We can still call this a 1 and a 2 to this move, a 1 and a 2. And this is still at about 85 retracement to the downside. So we might still be expecting a leg upside. So we need all this mess to clear out, because otherwise it may be that we are having a complex correction of this entire fourth wave that we thought it has finished, like an A, B, C, for us to ride 1 and 2, 3 to the upside. But it still look though as if we are having a WXY now. That's the way it's looking. We are having a complex correction, wasting more time here for us to go up. The only thing that will say this is out of the way and we are coming down, and the thing has changed, is you must know the level. The level, of course, has to be dictated by this wave, the preceding wave before this correction. So what is the preceding wave before this correction? The preceding wave before this correction is this wave itself up to this point, which went up in 5 waves, okay? Or almost 5 waves. It's not yet complete. So this is the preceding wave. And we thought, you know, after a third wave here, so this one is completed, okay? The O wave here is really completed as the third wave. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so we are about finishing the 5th wave. So inside the 5th wave, that is where we are stopped. If I may take you through the history, let's see. So this is the history of everything as a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. So we have completed 1, we have completed 2, we have completed 3, we have completed 4. So we are about finishing the last wave. And of course, the way you are seeing it, it's more or less like we are hardly getting any height. And so this is the last wave. So we're going to focus on the last wave from this 3 to 4, the last wave. And this last wave, we expect it to run in 5 waves because this is 3 and this is 4. So this is the first wave, the second wave, the third wave, the fourth wave. Now, the fourth wave, now we are done with the fourth wave in our own count, and we are seeing this as the last wave of the 5 wave. So this also has to run in 5 waves. So where we are in this is that we thought the last 5 waves of this particular wave 5, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this that should run in 5. We've done 1, we've done 2, and we thought this is like the third wave. Of course, it could get truncated. I've said all of that. So now this is where we are going to focus. We must keep our count intact for us to know how to proceed. So what we are saying, because we have to look at all the instruments, is that if this is 2, the limit of 2 here, if this is our limit of 2, and this is our third wave here, so the price should not break a correction of 4 to the downside. So once correction of 4 is taken to the downside, then we are out. And that correction of 4 to the downside is actually here. But 50 has not been taken because in ending structure, you know, which is very corrective, our price can still encroach on the 50 or pierce a 50 a little, but it does not get to 60 retracement. So once you get 60 retracement, it's a new wave that you must be entertaining. So this is 50 here. This is 40 here, and the 38 point, yes, 38.2, and this is 50. 50 has not been taken by any of the structure. Let's look at it again from the second wave here to the upside, where you have 3 here, which is this one, okay? So when we look at that in terms of retracement, so you can see this is 38 here, where this fenestrated line is, and this is 50. 50 marks the height or the limit of 4. So once we break into the downside, then we are in a new wave. So far, this is still looking like a correction. So they are making this fourth wave here, you know, more into a complex correction. That is what it's looking like. So I still, well, it maybe is different on all the instruments, but we have to look at all the instruments at once, because this may have just been an A, B, C to form to give us a W, and this might just be an X. So we might be seeing an A, B, and a C to finish up this as a Y before we break up. So anything may happen. So let's look at the other instruments before we conclude. DXY. The same way with DXY. DXY had broken the structure to the downside, but it has not taken a 50. So because it has not taken a 50, 40 has been broken, and this is also expected. So it may most likely this is a WXY. So this has changed this count from 1 to 2 to the upside to 3. So it has changed that count. So we, instead of taking this as our 1 now, that is out of the picture. But this has not been taken. It's only when you take 50 retracements to the downside and 60 is gone, then you are in a new wave. So the low has changed now to this. So we are seeing most likely that this has ended. But we are still going to look at it. Most likely it may have ended here for a more push to the upside. But then we have to be very careful also, because this may also go into a 1 and a 2, and they are taking it down. So you must know that, you know, in the reverse direction, that we may have done a 3, 4, 5 here and a truncation, and this may be growing into a 1 and a 2 and a 3. So once we break this to the downside, you're going to see the possibility of this one being a 1 and a 2 and the third way to the downside. And what will make it a third wave? This is the limit that we must violate before we begin to consider recounting to the downside. But for now, we are still looking up. So it's A, B, C, maybe an X here, the A of a W, the B of a W, and the C of a W before we turn up. So we need to see what is playing out here. Now, let's go to the euro dollar and see what that has given us. So 50 has not been taken in both the US dollar index as well as the DXY. 50 is still intact, but on the euro dollar, the 50 has been taken. So, but you must know that's a game and manipulation that, of course, from time to time, we must be aware of that. So, what we term as a 1, and we are looking at this reversal as a 2, and for us to go down to 3, that may have changed. Okay, so we are seeing this as the move here as an ABC has become an A of W for me, and the move here entirely has become a B section, and what is we are seeing here may be a C. That is what we are seeing now. That is what we are calling until something gives here. Now, for this to be a C, you can't take it from here. This wave ended here, and A, B, C ended here properly, and you may have also look at this as more of a complex correction, you know, of a B. The B wave here, one can take it as a more of a complex correction to give us a B, and that we are going to see a C leg. And if you're going to see a C leg, what do we do? We'll look at this A to B to C, a retracement of 100 or 123. So we need to break this to the upside. Once we take 123 to the upside, then you know that we are going to a new wave. You know how we do that. So you take from low here, the low of the turn to this place of a A, then back to the B for us to get the Y. So that would be a Y now. This would be a W, A, B, C of the W as an A. You can call it an A, but it's a WXY really. For now, the way it's looking like it's a WXY, A, B, C of W, which for now, I think we should just name it the way it's looking like, a W. a W, X, and a Y. So that's the way it's looking like. So this correction will stop being a WXY once we go above 100 or go above here. But then something that will also tell us it's not likely to be a WXY also is if we take, I think we shouldn't even break here. We shouldn't break, that will be the first warning sign. This is 60 retracement of the entire run from 2 here. From 2 here down to 3 here, we are taking 40, this is 50. This is a crucial point. Once we take 61.8 here, then the only thing we must still be thinking, because we need to go past 123 for us to know sure that we are breaking structure to the upside and we are doing a bigger correction, because this thing could actually end up turning to be the beginning of a bigger correction that is expected. And that's why it's going this way. So it can be turned to be a bigger correction, which may want to kickstart itself, that the entire run may have finished here and we are seeing a potential bigger correction to the upside. But we need to violate at least 50 here or 61 on the euro dollar and 50 on DSY and US dollar index for us to now know that we are going into a very much a bigger correction. So that will be the first thing to note. And again, when this is taken and we break this one again to the upside, that should be very clear. For now, looking at these after our WX, we are going to see, as this one done 5 waves, let's look into the lower time frame. Let's look into the lower time frame. Now, looking into the lower time frame, this clearly is the turn of this, the low here. So this is the first wave. This one had gone in 5 waves on the lower time frame. And this looks like a correction of 2. And this has taken like 5, 3 to the upside, because the way it went up in such a manner that the extension here is beyond 161.8. And so if you take, this is the 2, and if you take, this is 1, 2, and a 3, this is 38.2 retracements, and this is like where we expect a 50% retracement. So at first, this came down to do a 4th wave. This may just be a 5th wave and it's truncated here right on this spot. So that may have finished this entire run here as a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, a truncated 5. We might be seeing this now new move as a possible new count to the downside. So, and that is what is still favored. So because this is taking, I might want to consider this now as a new move, the first way of a new move. Sorry for that break in transmission. So we might want to consider this as a new move, which may tell us that the beginning of the last our move to the downside. So we may want to consider that now. So this 50 has been taken. It's either we break to the downside or we break to the upside now. But then I think this might just be the last sell. Now, in that case, if we are going more to the downside, we need to see a break. So our 1 and 2, this may now look like our 1 and 2. We may have finished our correction. Now, even this is the 50 line that was taken. And so this may just be our new 1 and 2. If you look at the retracement to the upside from here. Good. This is just barely at about we can still say about a 2. And let's see how this one grows. So if we are going to break this one to the downside to make it, you know, a new impulse that we are going to do to the downside. So we need to see how this is going to, you know, progress to the downside. So at this point, we'll see this grow into a new trend once we break the limit of 101 to 3 to the downside. So we need to see a 123 taken and a 161.8 taken here. So 161.8 must be taken here. That will be what will make this one to be a third wave from what we are seeing. So apparently at this point is 123. So if this one breaks below here, it means that it's going to be a new trend by coming here. So that will make it now that it will now make it like, let me go to 30 minutes time frame. So what that will now mean is that we have done and finished our W, X, Y, and our fourth wave. Now we have finished here properly. And so this is 1, and this is a 2, and this is a 3. We might be going up to, you know, of course, the third wave must be extended. So we need to cross this line to the downside before we say that, okay, we are coming down again. So this is a level that we must break. Price may still be correcting here and go up. Price may still, you know, take this one for a 1 of a new move, you know, because you must know all of that. So we may see this as a 1 and a 2 here, and a possible 3-1 and a 3-2 for more upside. So it's either we break up to consider this as a 1 and a 2, and a 3-1 and a 3-2 for more upside. But what is favored is for us to turn to the downside, seeing this as a WXY, you know, and a 1 and a 2, and we need to see this violated first. Once we violate this, this is the next, and we're now saying that we're going to 3 proper to have a 4. It may still be truncated, whatever it gives us. The only thing is that once this level is taken here, you quickly want to align yourself as to the possibility of an extension to the downside, where price may come to, which means that price may slightly pull beyond here of an extension. So which means that what we may see, if you get that break to the downside, because this is what we thought the level might be, breaking the blue box slightly in terms of an extension, and this as in terms of where we may get the last wave before we change for a bigger correction. So this, we don't know, may still pull 3 a bit up here or anyhow. So, and what if we get to turn down from there? So it may mean that our 3 to 4 comes in here, and your is still around a bit around just a little lower here. So 5.9, almost 14, before we see more upside. So potentially price may still, you know, come down here. So let's see what happens here, and we're going to follow this as it's growing. That is one thing that I want us to see. So potentially, This may just be the end of a Y of a 4 of a WXY, potentially. Then the other clue will now be if we are seeing, if there's a break to the upside here, we will be interested to see what is happening on the DXY, which is this, to see if we are going to get that break here, below here, or on the euro dollar index, or sorry, on the US dollar index for that break to the downside. So the way it's looking like, this may be presenting a 1, 2, 3, 5, scenario as a 1 and a 2, but on DXY and the euro dollar, it's looking like a beginning of a new cant. It's looking like a beginning of the new cant. So, but you're going to, it's the idea that we are still likely going to break the top on US dollar index and DXY that we must entertain. So I don't think that we are yet ready to come down on those instruments. I don't think we're ready to go up also on euro dollar. So we have to follow everything that is happening here. So that ends the update today, just to still highlight you, because you saw this break to the upside, it does not mean that price is ready. It's most likely a trap.